Welcome back to Allison Customs Project Car TV. I'm Jeff Allison, and thank you for watching.
Put the body on the frame recently, and that was so we could test fit for the transmission, the T56. You may have seen that video. If not, go back and watch it because it's funny. I just keep cutting bigger and bigger holes, even though I thought I was going to get in there. Basically, I thought the holes were going to be a lot smaller than they ended up being. Also, one of the reasons to have the body on the frame was I needed to measure for wheels for the tires we're going to run. So the owner sent me the new tires. We're going to run a 275 in the front, a 335 in the rear, and I want the tire, as you know, at least in the front. The rear, the tire is going to be centered in the wheel well. It fits perfect. With one exception right now, but some of you will remember that from when I did the mini tub video, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. On the front, when the tires are turned in, with the back spacing we'd like to run, the tire is going to rub the frame. So we can either limit the turn radius, or what I'm going to do instead is actually modify the Art Morrison frame, and it's not going to take much. We just got to forward of the front suspension, I've got to take out about a ½ inch area so that the tire will clear at full lock in the turn. And the reason we want the tire backspaced in there is A, it's wider. They recommend running, I think, a 255 as the widest tire, and we're running a 275. So we need that extra backspacing just for that clearance. But by getting that tire back in there that far, that also means when we're at a full lock and get into a turn and hit a dip or whatever, the fender on the outside isn't going to contact the tire. So that's the change we decided to make there, rather than limiting the steering radius. In the rear, so when I did the mini tub video, we knew we were going to run this 28-inch diameter tire, and I was pretty sure, and I was correct, when I test fit the tire, I confirmed that. The rear body mount, or not the most rear, but the one right behind the tire touches. There's just not enough distance from where the axle is to that body mount. So in the video on when I did the floor pan, I took the body mount loose, moved it back, and I'm working off the top of my head here, but it was 2 or 2.5 inches. And so now what I need to do is cut that frame side of that body mount off the frame and clean up the frame, get rid of the weld on the frame, and then take that body mount, bolt it to the car, or to the car body, line it back up with the frame, and tack weld it in place. And then I've got 1 or 2 other quick little things that I need to do with the body on the frame, and that's like I need to figure out where the cooling ducts are going to come out under the car so that I can then get some kind of ductwork over to the brake. And so I need to do that while it's on the frame, and obviously up in the air so I can get underneath it. That actually might be the last thing. So I'm going to try and go ahead and get those things started and at least all marked and know where everything's going to be, so that then I can go ahead and get the body off the frame, get the body on a rotisserie, and then I can finish up, do a lot of finish welding and stuff like that. One of the things I'm not terribly happy with is my firewall. The more I look at it, I'm just not sure I like it just smooth. I'm beginning to think I may want to take that sheet metal off there and put a rib or 2 in it, just roll a rib in there. I haven't really decided, but I've got something there that I'm just not happy with it. So, if you're not happy with something, I recommend you fix it. The original firewall actually looked really good, but once we got it all soda blasted, we had a lot of rust in the seams, so we were going to have a future problem there, and that's the only reason to put the smooth firewall in this car, because had it been a good firewall, they're not that bad looking to me, and they kind of keep the car looking stockish. Some friends of ours factory-ish. Anyway, so once I have the car on the rotisserie, that's one of the things I'm going to address, is that firewall. And I'm really not sure quite how yet. If anybody has any ideas out there, send me a message. I'm interested in anything. Anyway, get the camera turned around. By the way, I'm using a new wireless mic, so hopefully the sound's coming out better. All right, guys, so here's some of what I was talking about with this body mount. So if you didn't recall, got a lot of finish welding and grinding to do in here. But this body mount, center of it's here, the center of the bolt hole is way over here. So this is one of the ones that I moved, and obviously I moved it that distance. Also, there's an open gap here, and I want to fill all that because it's just a place for mud and crap to collect. And then on the front side of this wheel well, see if I can get the camera turned around. On the front side of this wheel well, I still need to finish weld this area, or actually make the sheet metal for this area. And then over here, the tire just barely touches in here, but there's about, gosh, 1.5 inches of extra material. So I'll come in and trim all this back and then roll that other back underneath so it's on the inside of the frame there. So there's just some finish welding that needs to be done, and some finish, some little pieces that still need to be made. But that's, you know, all that stuff can be done when it's on the rotisserie to make it easy, more accessible. So right in here, so coming along this back wall is where on the inside is where the ductwork for the brake cooling is intended to go. However, once I get past just this bolt hole over here, or bolt over here, and leave enough room to be able to remove it, I can turn in anywhere inside this area. And that's kind of what I'm thinking, is to come in somewhere right in here with a piece of round ductwork and come out so that it can then have a flexible tube, and it can be high or low. I just got to figure that out, and I kind of need it on the frame for that. But all I need to do is figure out where that's going to go and then turn in. Now, there's one more piece of hardware that has to go under here, and that's the sway bar. So before I can put all that in, I still have to mount the sway bar and verify that. But the goal is to get that brake cooling duct through this sheet metal somewhere, and then I can use flexible tubing from there to go to the actual brake area itself. And one other item that I hadn't thought about that I would like to get done still is, of course, this is where the drive shaft goes, and I'd like to get a drive shaft hoop in here as part of my transmission tunnel rebuild. So I may take out part of this brace, or and do it there. I may come back and there's another brace back here. I just need to tie it all together so it looks like it fits, and I want it part of I want it part of the frame, not part of the body. So it'll come off the frame and come in here. But as I'm doing that transmission tunnel modification, I can just try and get it all in there in one shot. And then the car can come off the body can come off the frame, put the frame away, and get back on all the welding and everything else. So.
Thanks for watching Allison Customs Project Car TV. Like us on Facebook and check us out at AllisonCustomsOnline.com.